Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included, and we're gonna straight continue with the topic of the previous episode. And now in retrospective, I'm really happy that I released the first part already and waited for your comments. Once again, you gave me plenty of ideas on how to improve on that and actually make it work. Now, I want to address a couple of concerns first of all. I have a lot of petroleum generators and there were concerns about not having enough petroleum to actually supply these. If we look at the math and my history in this game, I totally understand why you would mention that, and I totally agree. 8 petroleum generators is definitely an overkill since they are using 2 kilograms of petroleum every second, and of course that is not the amount we are producing at the moment. However, you have to keep in mind that these petroleum generators are not running all the time. They are only turning on if they are really necessary, i.e. if the natural gas generators cannot keep up. Another petroleum source that you might have forgotten about is my slickster farm. I still have my slickster farm all the way down here. If we check this out, I currently have 8 slicksters in here and I have another 5 in this one at the moment, but we are getting more and more eggs. These farms are just working. I've never tended to these farms and they are producing petroleum for me. As you can see here, we currently have 2, 4, 6 molten lava eggs, and I already have 1 slickster producing a little bit of petroleum. And this is why I exchanged the bottom floor with mesh tiles. We should then be able to take a liquid pump, also made out of steel, put it right there, and occasionally pump out the petroleum we are accumulating in this room. If we want to continue this, we could even set up a door here so the slicksters don't get out. Yeah, I mean, why the heck not? Let's have a tile right here, then pneumatic door. We're gonna go with iron, put that right there. Yeah, I think that's good. And now we have this entire room, which is actually smaller than it could be. So I could put the floor 1 more block down and we would still be golden. I think I'm actually gonna do that. So we're gonna set up another row of tiles here and move everything 1 block down. Now, another tip you gave me, and I think that is a wonderful tip, is to actually use the room in order to cool down my refineries. So instead of having the refinery right here and cooling down the oil through my system right here, which at the moment isn't running anyways. Oh, I'm not producing anything. Never mind. But we already learned that the metal refinery itself isn't heating up as much, it's the liquid inside of it, and we could just run that through our steam room, no problem. So maybe what we could do is expand this floor all the way to over here. I'm gonna make another transit tube access, and I think I'm just gonna poke through the ladders there. I'm gonna make a little access point here in order to actually start building this room. And of course, plenty of transit tubes. A little crossing right there. And I guess this tile right there could be a joint plate. So we're gonna add that right here and we can supply the refineries and the transit tube access with power as well. Now basically during this entire time I was talking and explaining things, I don't think the petroleum generators turned on once. So we have plenty of time to accumulate the petroleum and then use it in bursts. There we go. Transit tube, you go right there. And then I actually want a, let me see. We could either go with 2 or 3 refineries. What would be, I think 3 is just better, you know. Yeah, come on, let's freaking do it. We're gonna have 1 here, 1 there, and another 1 there. We're also gonna use a bunch of planter boxes in order to keep this room cool. At the moment, there is oxygen in there. Maybe we're just gonna go with that. And of course, hook everything up with the necessary power. It's gonna be great. Where are my eggs? Oh no. It looks as though I misplaced my eggs. I think I just swept up everything and they took the eggs and brought them back to where I don't want them. So we're gonna have another automatic dispenser bringing them back. That was kind of my mistake. There it is, molten lava egg. We want to have priority 9 and we want not sweep only. So they are bringing all the eggs I currently have over here. Already looking good, we got the eggs back. Let's decommission the dispenser again. We can also already think about the piping for our refineries. What I would like to achieve is just sending the liquid through our steam room, heating up the potential polluted water to steam temperature. And then as soon as we are below 200 degrees temperature, I'm gonna bring the liquid back into the refineries. With our current situation, I don't think we need this connection anymore, which means we can make this a little more straight. I'm actually gonna disconnect this, so eventually we get all the petroleum into this line. Let me see, yeah, I'm gonna remove that, but just to be sure, I don't want things to go south. But we can essentially get rid of this petroleum line here and connect it right there, which is much better because at the moment this is kind of connected to the output of the refinery. Good then, let's take care of the most important parts of the cooling loop. We're gonna build this out of iron, so I'm gonna have to craft some more of that. Actually, could we also build it with copper since I have so much copper at the moment? This, ooh, okay, this might actually be just as fine. Iron has a worse conductivity, but it seems to have a better heat capacity, yeah. Okay, we're actually gonna build it out of copper because I have an unlimited amount of that since we took care of the volcano. So the first thing I want to heat up is this entire room with the slicksters in it. I think their livable range is at least 75 degrees and they can go all the way up to 270 degrees. So the upper range is not a problem, but the lower range at the moment we haven't reached. And if we check out the slickster right here, it is actually losing body temperature. So that's one thing we want to make sure we have. And then on the top, we want to cover the bottom layer in order to take care of all the potential polluted water that is still in liquid form. So all of that should be heating up. Then of course we're going to use a liquid bridge wherever necessary. And this is going to look more complicated than it actually is. This polluted water I don't really need anymore, so let's just get rid of it. I think at the bottom here I have a pool of water that I can utilize. Yeah, there we go. It's just going to be dumped into there. But I also want to disconnect this, and I guess we can already remove this all the way up to the liquid vent. We're almost done with the insulation, so we can go ahead and move the mesh tiles one block down. Polluted water is going away, which means we can get rid of this. Okay, this is our loop. We are looping back, then I can just go here, move up one block, and we are gonna bridge over once I used up this petroleum. It's gonna go into the input. The hot liquid is coming out at the bottom, so I guess we wanna get rid of at least this portion here of water. Actually, I don't really need this axis any longer, so what I'm gonna do is the same thing. I'm just gonna dump all the water here to the bottom. Now, within this cooling loop, there's actually something else I want to include, which is a liquid reservoir. So we have a little bit of cooling liquid in reserve. We're gonna connect this line with the cooling loop. Here it's gonna come out. We are then gonna check the temperature and decide whether or not it's ready to go back into the refineries. In order to make this work, I think I will have to bridge this over so we can actually utilize these spaces here. There it is, bridge already in place. We can get rid of that petroleum and use it for our exit line. So this is gonna go down if it cannot go up. Oh wait, hold on, that could still be a problem because the intersection is gonna be at the sensor and not the liquid shutoff. So the better solution would be to take apart this bridge again, and then we are gonna move it one over. So instead the bridge is gonna go here, and this is gonna allow me to have the sensor at this place. So liquid thermosensor. We're then gonna have a steel liquid shutoff right there, and if the shutoff is closed, we're gonna move over one and then bridge down in order to join the loop. Wait, yeah, of course, the liquid has to be below a certain temperature. So if it's still above, it's gonna join back to the loop. Now there's still gonna be a priority problem, but I think we can take care of that once we have built a few more things. Now, another thing I want to check here, what temperature? I set this to 125 degrees. I think we could do a much better job if we have this below 200 degrees, because that's the upper temperature of our steam room, and we should be fine. So now I'm gonna produce even more petroleum in a quicker fashion. I love this. Man, this still has so much heat stored. Okay, now let's make sure we have the priorities right. If we bridge over here, that only happens if the liquid is still too hot. Then it's going to bridge over here, and I want to make sure this always has priority. So we will want to make another bridge at this point, going right there and then connecting this. So we can get rid of this pipe, and now the petroleum already in the loop is going to have priority. Though I wonder, is that really necessary? Maybe I'm just gonna implement that once I figure it's necessary. But right now we could just also alternate if we have liquids coming at the same time. This here is my hydrogen line, and I think I wanna borrow this quickly in order to fill up the bottom room here. So we're just gonna do something like this, move down and fill up this room. And this is gonna allow me to maybe push all the other gases downwards. So we have this room mostly filled up with hydrogen. And of course, for that to work, we have to close off the top side there. Well then, I guess back to my loop, we want to exit the shutoff right there. So I'm going to build another bridge for the petroleum line. And as mentioned, the liquid needs to be below 200 degrees for the shutoff to open. And then we're going to feed the refineries just like that. Should be fine. Provided we have enough liquids, of course. The water is actually emptied, so we can also exit the refineries right there. Gonna go over here, combine this, and it's gonna join the loop. Yeah. You know, I feel like another thing I'm ready to do is open up this area. I want most of the gases that land outside of my base and everything that I contained just to disappear. That would be great. Actually, I'm not so sure. I mean, we still have a lot of gases we could make use of. Maybe we should wait with that. There it is. Hydrogen is incoming. My hopes is that all the other gases are going to be pushed outside eventually. What are we gonna use as a coolant? I'm actually tempted to use the petroleum. I mean, at the moment, do I still have... Yeah, we could just use that petroleum. Right now, this cooling loop doesn't do anything anymore, right? Yeah, it decommissioned basically everything. Wow, guys, this is actually really exciting for me. I mean, I've been in this 1,400 cycles. Am I crazy? I did not even realize, man. Okay, now we are still gonna have to deal with all the carbon dioxide we currently have in the joint, and I think it would be best at the moment to just let it out. Whoops, I trapped Ellie. Sorry about that. Let's add another ladder there. But yeah, there we go. This way we should be able to get rid of a whole bunch of carbon dioxide. Actually, maybe I should make the hole on the top so we don't get as much of the other gases. I mean, we've already got a whole bunch of gases that I'm gonna have to take care of eventually, and maybe I don't want to make this situation much worse. Yeah, we might have a better chance doing something like this and then opening up this area, so all the gases that tend to go upwards are not gonna be forced down. I think that's a good idea. And then we're just gonna open up this little thing, and I'm actually gonna make it automatic so I can steer it a little bit. So there's gonna be the door and a switch, please. There we go. That seems to be working more or less. I haven't seen any other gases actually making their way in. They tend to go upwards in the presence of carbon dioxide. Now, in terms of temperatures, this might not have been one of my best ideas, but since this is only temporary, I think we should be fine. All I want is to get rid of the initial carbon dioxide that I didn't anticipate. Hold on, is this now hooked up? Yes, we are actually hooked up, which means we can close off this... No, actually we shouldn't do that. We should only close off the room once we got rid of the other gases. I'm gonna plant some of my wheatworts right here in the refinery room. I'm also gonna build the last 2 petroleum generators, and I think at this point I wanna disable a couple of them in order to stabilize the system and not produce too much polluted water until we are ready to heat it up. I think we're done with the cooling loop, so we should be able to fill it up with petroleum. I'm gonna use the petroleum line we have already here. Can I conveniently input this? Yeah, I want to input it into the reservoir first, so we are gonna make a temporary connection here. That's what I'm talking about. And we're gonna fill up each of the refineries first, and then approximately half of the reservoir. And in order to make this easier, I'm now gonna tap into all the petroleum I have here for my cooling loop that is basically no use anymore. So I guess in this case we can just connect this instead of that, and we should be golden. Alrighty, we are actually almost done filling up the room with hydrogen, and I've also disconnected the petroleum, so now we ended up with 1,600 kilograms of petroleum in the reservoir. However, some of that is still gonna go into the refinery. And I thought about the priorities once again. What we want to achieve is that the reservoirs output have the priority so we can empty them as soon as possible. The way I set this up is not very convenient, so we are just gonna add 2 more bridges in order to accomplish this. If we add a bridge here, another one there, all we have to do is keep these 2 connected. This one here we can disconnect, and this one here we can disconnect. So the packets coming from this side are gonna go here and have priority, contrary to the ones coming from the reservoir. Now I might want to speed this up a little bit. Let's deconstruct another insulated tile here, and hopefully we can get rid of the rest of the gases before we just start losing hydrogen. Beautiful, that actually worked much better than I anticipated with only 2 gaps. Should we wait? Yeah, let's wait. Let's make this pure hydrogen. Alrighty, in this case I would say we are gonna get things started. We wanna craft a whole bunch of iron, we wanna craft a whole bunch of steel here as well. And then since we have a third one, we're also gonna craft some gold amalgam. And I also decommissioned the old refinery. We're not gonna do any more jobs on this one. Ashcan, that's what I'm talking about. You're my boy. Oh, of course, right now we have a very low temperature in here, 76 degrees. So that only heated up a little bit with the gold amalgam. However, right here we are crafting steel. This should heat up much more. 238 degrees. Perfect. So this is now also joining the loop, and the liquid in the reservoir is actually waiting, so we can empty our refineries first. Nice. Okay, that is gonna do a lot for us. Let's have a look at that temperature. Ooh, look at that. It's going up, going up, going up. Yes, that's what I wanted to see. We might not see any steam in today's video, but the next time I bet you it's gonna work out if we keep on using the refinery. So that was an awesome tip to utilize the enormous heat of refining metals. Wow, guys, this is actually insane how efficient this is. We heated up this room so quickly. Now I'm not even concerned about my slicksters. Honestly, on the outside, this is getting out of hand. I want to have this cleaned up a little bit. So I'm gonna open up a large gap exposed to space. Also, obviously, our pneumatic door is overheated. I did not think of that. I've also been thinking of not adding a door at all, because then maybe the slicksters are not gonna be cramped and they're just gonna keep on producing. I have to read up on that a little bit. Or maybe you guys know a tip on how I could make this useful without making it an actual farm, just having these critters all over the place. Yay, I love it. Mass producing metals now, and it is absolutely no problem. I'm even struggling still heating things up, though we are already at 111 degrees, so look at that. Oh, absolutely amazing. I've been waiting for this. Steam, steam, steam all over the place. And here we can also see, as soon as we get rid of the layer, the liquid layer that is still there, we can actually exchange the gases, no problem. This is amazing. What overheat temperature does this have now? Actually, I have to check. So plus 200 degrees, 275 degrees. Hopefully we are never gonna exceed that, considering we have really hot liquid going through here at some point. Yes, I know, my slicksters, but the steam should raise up very soon as we have enough temperature going on, I think. Let's open this up one more time so we can get rid of a little bit more carbon dioxide. We still have 40 kilograms of polluted water in this tile. You can see how it is gradually going down. Well, you can see it. Now you can see it. I think it's just a matter of time until we can get permanently rid of this layer. You know what? I just noticed that I'm still using the petroleum loop in order to cool down the carbon dioxide vent. And we need to make sure this loop is still intact. It's gonna be easy. It's just going around here. So all we have to do really is... Yeah, actually all we have to do is connect these two pipes, and then we are gonna disconnect this. So now it's basically its own loop, still doing what it's supposed to do, hopefully. So good thing I checked on that. That also means we can get rid of most of the piping system here and make it a lot less confusing. Actually all the way up to here. Wow. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, hopefully my computer is not gonna crash. Yeah. Yes, yes, that feels really good. Decommissioning everything, I love it. There it happened. We have no more liquid on the floor, which means soon enough all the steam should go up, all the carbon dioxide should come down. Wait, how did this happen? Some of my visco gel actually went over here to the next tile. Let's not be too worried about it. Great, this is actually working much better than I anticipated. We already have the steam. I just need to wait a little bit and observe. Keep on observing. We already have 2 slicksters producing petroleum, so there's going to be a pump eventually with a sensor in order to feed the petroleum generators as well. Another thing we will have to take care of is all of the extra steam. So as soon as we accumulated too much steam, we are going to need to activate this sensor, or actually deactivate the liquid vent. This essentially means all the water from our steam turbines that we take from the steam here is then going to be transported elsewhere, and that is something we haven't really taken care of. But I first want this room to stabilize so carbon dioxide stays at the bottom, steam on the top. But with that out of the way, I would say we're gonna wrap it up for today. Thank you so much for watching, have a great time, and hopefully I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Bye bye.